Hey everyone, today I'll be walking you through everything beginners should know about OBS, from the basics all the way down to some advanced features. When we first open OBS, this will be the first thing that we see. So you'll mainly see over here at the bottom left, the scenes panel, then the sources panel. This is where we can add our sources, mainly there are cameras, images, text, or audio. Next, we got the audio mixer. Whenever our sources have audio, this is where it will appear. Then we got the scene transitions over here. Then over here at the middle. Next, we also have the controls here where we can stream, record, or even start our own virtual camera. Then finally, at the top left, we have our toolbar here. First and foremost, what I suggest you guys do is go over here at the bottom right, then click here what it says Studio Mode. What this basically does is it enables us to separate our preview and our program. So basically the preview over here to the left, this allows us to prepare a scene before pushing it live. Then here at the right side, the program, what is basically seen in the program is what is also gets reflected in our stream or the monitor we're projecting. Next is we have the sources. In OBS, we have the sources and the scenes. Basically, the scene is our layout where inside the scenes will contain the sources. So in order to demonstrate, let's add our first scene. What we can do is we right click or we press this plus icon over here. And for this, I'll just right click over here, press add scene, then click OK. For sources, there's a lot of sources that we can select from. Again, we just click here, either we right click or we click the plus icon over here. Then as you can see here, majority of the sources is pretty self-explanatory. And for this guide, I'll be using the image source. Then we click OK. Then it's gonna ask us where the image file or where is our source file located. So do that. I'll select this image, then click OK. Now we have added our first scene. How about we add another scene? Again, we do the same process. This time, I'll try to add a video. So once again, inside this video, we right-click the sources. Then we click media source. If we want videos, this will be the source that we go to, the media source. Click OK. Then we can leave the settings as is. If you want the video to loop once it ends, we just click this here. But for that, I'll leave it as is. Then we'll use any video that we have. For this, I'll be using an old clip of mine. Now, we have two scenes. The next question is, how do we transition between the scenes? So one way of transitioning between the scenes is over here at the center. The first thing to see here will be the transition button. If we click that, it's just a simple transition of fade. Again, I'll click it again to demonstrate. Now, I'd like you to take note, this transition button is connected to the scene transition bar over here at the bottom right side. Here we can dictate the duration of our fade, or we can also set it to cut. So to demonstrate, I have set it to cut. Then back here, we're gonna click it, and then it cuts. Then if we go to fade again, then let's say we want 1 second of transition duration. We click transition again, and there you see it. We also have shortcuts for it. Over here, the quick transitions. First is cut, then fade by 300 milliseconds, fade to black, which again just fades the scenes to black. Then if we want to unfade it again, we just click it again. We also have this bar over here if we want to customize how long should our transitions should last. So in order to do that, we just click here, click the white line over here, hold, then we drag it to the right. Okay, let me select my scenes first. From this scene of the program to the next scene, to the first scene that we created. Again, hold click, the LCC to the right. As I slowly drag this bar to the right, the scene is slowly transitioned. And that's basically it. That's how you transition between the scenes of OBS. Next is, how do we edit our assets inside OBS? So let's say we want to edit our image over here. Now if we want to resize an image, we just click here. It doesn't have to be image, it can be any source that we have added. So for this case, it will be this image that I added in the first scene. Now when we select an image, there will be multiple dots that will appear, or rather points, here at the corners and at the sides. If we click and drag it, it's going to resize the image. Do you want it small or larger? If you click over here, this will rotate our source that we have. How about if we want to crop our image? Let's say I want to remove this red part over here. In order to do that, we just hold our Alt button and we hover over this dot over here. And I will hold click and drag it up. There you go. Now we have cropped our image or one of our assets. How about we want to stretch our image? So for this, we just hold shift. Instead of the Alt button, we hold shift, click, and drag it downwards. Now we have stretched our image. Now if we want to undo the actions that we did, we just press Ctrl Z and Ctrl Z again. Now if I want to redo, Ctrl Y. There you go. Now there's usually gonna be some cases where our image, when we add our sources, they're gonna be too small or too large. In order to demonstrate this, I will add another source, namely another image, and it's gonna be a picture of my dog. So when we add this image over here, you'll see that the image is too large. This is actually the image itself. It's so big. Now what usually most people do is they just again click one of the points that I mentioned before, then they just manually resize it. However, there is a much better way to do it, and that is the Ctrl F shortcut. So to do that, we just select the image, then hold Ctrl and press F, and there you go. We have auto fit the image in our scene. And that's basically it. That's for the shortcuts that I think everyone should know about OBS when we're editing our assets. So first we have the stretch that is holding shift. Then we also have crop that is holding alt. Then the undo and the redo buttons, Ctrl Z, Ctrl Y, and then the auto fit, which is Ctrl F. Next is, how do we project our output to another screen? Now usually when we're using OBS for presentations, our PC or our setup is usually connected to a second monitor or a second screen. But how do we project exactly our program output here to the second monitor or our second screen? In order to do that, it's pretty simple. We just right click the program, then over here hover on program, open program projector, then we will see all the displays connected to our PC. Now here, display 1, this will be our main display. This is the current display that you see right now, and display 2 is my second monitor. Now usually when we have a secondary display, it could be either an LED screen, a second monitor, or a PowerPoint projector. It would usually appear here in the display 2. Now for demonstration purposes, let's see what happens if we click display 1. This is what I mean. So when we do that for display 2, that's how we project this program output over here to that second monitor. So I hope I'm making sense over here. Basically, that's how you do it when we're using OBS for presentations and such. Next is, how do we start streaming or start recording? Now, in order for us to stream, the first thing that we have to do is to get our stream key. Now, for this example, I will be using Twitch. So over here, when we go to our Twitch, we go to our creator dashboard. So this is the creator dashboard as we see. Then what I want you guys to do is go over here at the stream settings, left side. Then you will see here the stream key. First, we need to copy the stream key. Then we go back to our OBS. Then we're gonna go to settings. Then here, stream, left side. Then we're gonna paste those stream key that we just copied. Then we click apply. So what we basically did is we have now connected our OBS and our streaming platform that we have chosen, which is Twitch. Then we click OK. Then in order for us to start streaming or go live, we just click over here, start streaming. Then once it turns blue and it says stop streaming, that means we are now live from OBS. In order to check that, let's go back to our Twitch. We go here, the stream manager. Then as you can see, we are now live in Twitch. Now, starting from here, I'll be showing you guys some much more advanced features of OBS. So first is, how do we do green screen? So for that, let's add another scene again. Then let's name it green screen. For this, I'll add a source. Then for this example, I'll be using an image. But again, you can apply this method that I'm about to show you to any source that we have. So for this, I already have this image prepared. Usually this is our setup for a green screen, right? We'll see ourselves sitting or standing, then we'll have a green screen background. Now, how do we make this green screen transparent? For that, is actually really simple. First is, we select the image. I'm gonna left click. After that, we press right click. Then we go down here at the filters. Then once it opens up a new window, we go over here, press the plus button, then we select Chroma key. Press OK. Then there you have it. Now, since we're using a literal green screen, our key color type should be green. However, if we have different colors for a quote-unquote green screen, let's say instead of green we have a blue screen. So we'll of course select blue. But for this, we'll be using green. And there you have it. We now have a transparent background using green screen and using OBS. Next is, how do we add some more custom transitions? So basically, when we transition from one scene to another, it's just usually the cut or the fade, or even the fade to black. We can add more to that. So for that, we just go over here at the scene transition bar. We click the plus icon. Then we have here the stinger. The stinger essentially means a custom transition or custom animations for our transitions. So I'll click that, press OK. Then it's gonna ask us for a video file. So for that, I already have some transitions ready. But for your stingers or transitions, you can basically download it from so many sources out there, from YouTube, from the internet. There's a lot out there. All you just need to do is to just search them. So for this, I have an Among Us theme stinger. Click that. Then click OK. Now let's see what happens when we click transition. As you can see here, we now have an Among Us transition. How about let's try another stinger? Same thing again, plus stinger. Let me select our video file. Let's say I want a cookie transition here. Okay, we'll check it. There you have it. You have more stingers. However, I see an issue over here. When I click transition, it immediately transitions to the next scene without waiting for the animation to finish first. Okay, I'll do it again. Pay attention to the right side, the program output. See? In order for us to customize that or to edit that, just go back here at the scene transitions bar, then click the vertical 3 dots, properties, then we change our transition point. Let's say I want a 1 second delay before the scene officially transitions, and let's try it again. Transition, and it looks perfect now. So once again, this is how we add more transition options for us in OBS. Again, for this, you just download them out there. There's a lot in YouTube, there's a lot in the internet, and all that stuff. And that's basically it for this part. Next, now that we have prepared our entire setup, what if we want to save this current setup that we have, namely the scenes and sources, so that we can use it in another PC? So in order for us to do that, we go up here in the toolbar. We go here, scene collection, like that. Then we're gonna click export. What this basically does is OBS will save all our setups in a single file. For the file name, we'll name it transfer setup. Then we click save. Then now we have that file ready over here, transfer setup. Now let's say we are now in another PC. We want to transfer our setup. All we really need is this file over here, the .json file. Let's say we're now in the PC that we want to set up. Once again, we go back to our scene collection, then we click import. Next is we go over here, collection path. We click the dots over here. Then we select the file that we just exported from. So for this case, is going to be the transfer setup.json. Click open. Then I'm going to rename it transfer. After that, we click import. So at first, nothing might happen. That's because we have to select the scene collection first. So again, back to scene collection, toolbar, click. As we can see here, this is the setup that we have imported. And we click that, and there you have it. This is essentially the same setup that we have previously. And this is how you would be doing it if we want to transfer our current OBS setup from one computer to another. So that is all for this video. I hope you guys learned a thing or two, since OBS is really easy to use as long as you know the features, you know the basic functions enough. Again, that's all from me. Thank you guys very much, and I'll see you soon.